All right, welcome everyone to another EOS Fireside Chat. I'm your host, Stephane. We are September 7th, and we've got a great show for you guys today. Real quickly here, some of the topics we'll be talking about. ENF is hiring. We've got some updates from the Ideathon and upcoming hackathon. The EOS community is preparing to leap, going to the upgrade for Leap 3.1. Like I mentioned in the pre-show here, we'll be talking EOS European Conference Strategy with Rhett. EOS Support released their August monthly report. We got some musical NFTs released on EOS this week and some community articles talking about DeFi Box and Yield Plus. And a recent article on NASDAQ about remodeling centralized management with DAOs. And of course, there's also the community open mic at the end of the show where we encourage anyone and everyone to jump on here, say hi, give a shout out, ask a question, give an update, anything you want really. All right, cool. So before we get started, a bit of housekeeping. First of all, I want to, of course, remember to state your name when you jump on the mic. We love to know who's talking here for the people either listening on Telegram, YouTube, Twitter, perhaps listening on the podcast that these shows are now broadcasted on. It helps everyone when you state your name when you join the mic. All right. Next up, we've got a little update for the Road to 10K promotion. So this is regarding the EOS community Discord server, which we invite you to join if you want to join these fireside calls live and jump on the mic with us. We're up to 5,325 members, and the invite leaderboard is up and running. So we've got a bunch of people sending out invites already. I think we're gaining a fair amount of members every week, and most of these are not coming from personal invite links. Most of these are coming from popular social media channels such as CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. All these crypto news sites and crypto aggregators are now pointing to the Discord server. So we're getting a lot of traffic from them, but we're also getting a few invites from people in the community going out there on social media, sharing the link with their followers, sharing the link with their friends. So right now, Dario is on number 1 on the leaderboard. And so congrats, Dario, so far. And we're going to be awarding prizes when we reach 6,000 members. And then again, more prizes at 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, and 10,000 members. So get out there and invite people to our great community and get them in the fireside chat for the future. Some of the people currently on the top 10 in the top 10 on the leaderboard only have one invite, so it's really still open to anyone. Get out there, share those links, and you have a chance to win some prizes. Another way you can win prizes by showing up to the fireside is, of course, grabbing your pop tokens. So if we go into the PopBot chat on Discord, today there's a new way to register for your pop tokens, and that is now you have to write a bot command, which is /register and then space your EOS account. So fairly obvious, and that way you can register for the snapshot, and we'll be sending out pop tokens at the end of the show. And we're gonna mute Mr. Chaotic. All right, and today is actually also the end of the month raffle. So every month we're holding raffles. We're giving out prizes to people who hold a raffle ticket. So you can get your raffle ticket by blending 4 pop tokens. So if you show up every week, you should be able to get your raffle ticket for the end of the month raffles. We're awarding 25 prizes of 10 EOS each, plus a bunch of other bonus NFTs like party crackers and others sometimes. Quick note: there was a bug in some of the cloud function on our blend page earlier today, and some people were not able to blend their ticket for the raffle coming up at the end of the show. You can also just manually blend these tickets by just going to Atomic Hub, selecting 4 pop tokens, and sending them to the address blend.gems with the memo community NFT colon 6401. So I'm going to share these instructions here in the stream chat for anyone who may want to blend a last minute raffle ticket entry. So again, send 4 pop tokens to blend.gems with the memo community NFT colon 6401, no spaces. And that kind of works for all our blends. If ever the UI is down, you can just send them directly through Atomic Hub. There's a lot of entries this month, more than previous months, which is great. There's been a lot more people joining these fireside chats. The EOS community is growing, and yeah, so we love to see it. And good luck to everyone who's holding a August raffle ticket. Alrighty, let's get into the juicy topics for today. First up, ENF tweeted out earlier this morning, actually, just a few hours ago, that they're hiring. So they're seeking, let me share the tweet here in our chat. And yeah, Daniel Keys here sharing some extra details on how to register, but it should be fairly obvious if you're in the PopBot chat. So here we've got, yeah, the EOS Network Foundation posted about the fact that they're hiring. So here the tweet reads, "We are seeking out experienced hashtag Web3 pros to expand the global marketing team for the new EOS. They're looking for marketing operations and analytics senior manager, looking for global events marketing senior manager, and a director of product marketing." So if these jobs seem interesting to you, you know, send an application their way. You can apply at apply.workable.com/ENF. So there you go. Great to see the ENF team expanding and hiring. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of marketing being done for EOS over the coming year. And of course, all of that starts kind of this month with the Token 2048 conference in Singapore at the end of the month, and then we'll continue on over the next many weeks, many months, as EOS is going to have a presence at many global crypto conferences, which is a topic we've talked about a few times on the Fireside chat. And actually, at this point, I'd like to maybe invite Rhett to join me on the stage here and talk a bit more about the European EOS conference's strategy that they've been working on.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm here really on the Discord channel, because I listen sometimes on YouTube. Sometimes, almost every time, but
great. Well,
yeah, so
happy to have you join us live on stage. Hope
yeah,
you do
yeah,
it
thank
more
you.
often.
Will do. So yeah, let me introduce myself. I see some familiar names in the list. My name is Rhett Oudkerk-Pol. I'm the founder of EOS Amsterdam, so one of the block producers. CC32D9, probably a very known Telegram handle to most of you, is our CTO. And a few years ago, in Norway, when we had a block producer convention, I rattled all the European block producers together in one part of the big room and introduced my idea to launch a special chain, the Europe chain for Europe. Because in Europe we have certain privacy laws that make it very difficult for enterprises or anybody basically to do anything with blockchain. All the block producers in Europe thought that was an interesting idea. Some of them joined me in that adventure. Crypto Alliance was one of them. EOS Dublin was one of them. Dutch EOS, still active on Telos, was one of them. And later EOS Barcelona joined the team, and we launched the Europe chain. We invested in some identity tooling. We did some other stuff. We helped some customers, and we enjoyed working together so much that we decided, as all the block producers together, to more strategically work on projects and customers that were not related to the block producing activity. So block producing is really separate. Some of us do it for multiple chains. Some of us do it for different multiple chains. But the other activities, we started to work together. When the ENF was founded, Yves approached us if we wanted to help him with the blue paper strategy. So we took the task to write it had multiple names in the beginning, but at the end we ended up with the Core Plus white paper. We also took the initiative to launch EOS.business a few years ago. So we had a network of companies and individuals that focused more on the business side, business to business applications. EOS Costa Rica and Rewire were members of that team. And so we took on the task to write the Core Plus white paper or blue paper, and also invited several companies, Rewire and EOS Costa Rica, Gimli, a whole list of companies to help us with that. Yves particularly liked that we had everything in place. We were a company, we had lawyers, we had staff, we had a legal entity that could pass the test of his foundation, and he gave us the assignment to do that. So we participated in the discussions after the blue papers were written, and discussions were there how to prioritize stuff. And Yves and I chatted regularly on what Zizan as a company could do more for ENF. My suggestion was to do more the marketing side, be the feet on the ground in Europe. So he asked me to write a plan, which I did, and that plan consists of 3 parts. The first part is a partnership with Gartner. I don't think everybody knows that, but in the IT industry, you have analyst firms like Gartner, Forrester. There's a whole bunch of others, but Gartner is by far the biggest. They have around 2,500 analysts, and these analysts monitor the IT industry, and you can hire them as a tech provider to advise you on strategy. And as an end user and as an enterprise, you can hire them to guide you in the landscape of IT products and services. So if a big firm, I don't know, needs a new storage unit, then typically they call Gartner and say, help us with defining a short list, help us with writing the request for proposal, help us out. And because they have thousands of customers, tech companies typically on the other side of the rainbow, I would say, typically ask them questions like, okay, what do customers typically want in this industry? So Gartner publishes all kinds of white papers and strategy documents. And so there's, for example, a very interesting document on blockchain, where they see the use cases, where is blockchain in the enterprise space typically of value. And so basically the relationship so this first part that I propose to Yves is have a relationship with Gartner. We have 3 seats, meaning that we have 3 accounts, so we can, with 3 people, connect with them. 1 from ENF and 2 from Zizan, and we can ask them all kinds of questions, and we can introduce those analysts to the tech stack of ENF and the tech stack of also our ecosystem. So that's part 1, a partnership with Gartner, really focused on getting enterprise clients to the EOS ecosystem and the Antelope ecosystem, I would say. The second part is the feet on the ground. So we have defined for now a schedule of 11 events in Europe and Dubai. That are the two regions that we take on. And we staff that booth. So together with ENF, the booth is designed. We will have our own pop-up booth, and we will be on the ground, on the floor at those trade shows, talking to everybody that comes along. There can be a former EOS enthusiast, can be an investor, can be a software developer, can be an enterprise client, can be somebody just interested in blockchain. And we are currently writing what we call an event Bible. So what do we tell exactly? What's the messaging? You had Patty on the show a while ago, I believe. She also talked about messaging, what to tell, what not to tell. So we are writing right now the messaging, the event Bible, and this approach might be copied to other continents. So in North America, we will have an event Bible, frequently asked questions on a booth like that. The third part is the business development after that. So right now we hired a team of salespeople, business development people that basically have the job to follow up on all the contacts that we gather from those events. So if somebody expresses interest in building something and wants guidance on how to do stuff with Pomelo, we help him or her give them guidance in our ecosystem. If there's an enterprise client that says, I want to develop this and this, we guide them where to shop and how to do that. So everybody that comes along, we provide guidance in our ecosystem. The same way other protocols do that as well. I've been in multiple trade shows, I've been on Ethereum hackathons and near events and some others. Everybody has some guidance people, and we will be the guidance people in Europe and Dubai for customers for parties that are interested. The list that we have is already published. The booth on token 2049 will be staffed by ENF himself in Singapore, but next weeks we will start with basically our roadshow. There will be 11 events. I will be on 9 of them. I will do some keynote speeches. I will do some forum attendance, and I will only do 9 because there's also a few on the same date. So I can't do more than 9. The other 2 is impossible for me to attend because it's on the same date. So after this, we will really have a good view on where's the market. We're a little bit in a crypto winter, so it will be very interesting to see if there's any startup, any enterprise, who will be, we have Corona now gone, I would say, so who will come to those events. So the first event, we will not have a booth. That's a Gartner Security and Risk Management Summit. I will be there just to network and meet people. I'm now on their portal to see who should I talk to, because all the attendees are on such a portal, so I try to select and reach out to those people. The second one on the list is TechEd in Amsterdam. 5,000 people are expected. That's the first time we will have a booth. Partly overlapping, we will be at Web3 Vision. That's a part of the Mexco. There's a very big marketing event in Cologne, Germany. On both events, the Amsterdam and the Cologne event, I will have speaking engagements. So every day, basically, I will have to give a talk. In Cologne, 38,000 people are expected. Then we have some days off, and in October we have a DeFi conference in Belfast. Small one, 300 attendees. We selected this one because part of our team is EOS Dublin, and traveling to Belfast is easy for them. And so the cost involved is also not that high. And we want to reach out to the DeFi community, a very focused event, and see the results, to also select and learn which sort of events to select next year. The Web3 event in Cologne with 38,000, you can imagine a completely different approach than a DeFi conference with 300 people. Then 10 to 13 October we'll do Future Blockchain Summit in Dubai with 100,000 people attending. That's the biggest one on the list. We will have 7 people of us there, so it will be a very big event in Dubai, 1 week of 10 days even in total. And this event, the summit, the Future Blockchain Summit, is the highlight of that event. So we will be there with a big group of people. Then 26 and 27 October we will be in Zaragoza in a more gaming focused event. It's called Blockchain Expo. And then after that, 1st of November, we will do Web Summit in Lisbon. Web Summit is basically one of the biggest IT events and startup events in Europe. 70,000 people, very large keynote speakers, very big event for everybody that has been there. Pretty chaotic event even. I've been there twice. It's very difficult to find your way if you're there for the first time, because it has a lot of booths. A lot of startups get free booth presence there, and some big companies also, and also the European Commission and the European Investment Bank and all kinds of big companies, the Deloitte and PricewaterhouseCoopers, all these big companies also have a big presence. There's a very big investor corner, and it's like 4 big halls with a lot of activities, a lot of people. And we will be almost center stage, I would say, the center of on one of the paths. If you have been there before, there used to be only one path, and now they created 2 paths. So probably a Corona routing style, one way, and we're in the middle of that. So basically in the center of the left and right routing. So big booth there, and hoping to talk to a lot of people. Then there's the Gartner Symposium. That's the biggest Gartner event in Europe. There's one in Asia and one in North America. And we will do the Barcelona one, 10,000 people. As attendees with 3 people, we will visit that and try to network with enterprise CIOs and CEOs. And then there is Token 2049. We have one in Singapore coming up very shortly, but there's also one in London, 9 and 10 November. A bit smaller than the Singapore one, 3,000 people expected, but we will be there as well. Part of the package that that ENF negotiated for Singapore. Then we will do another Gartner event. In the deal that we close with Gartner are a few of these events where we can go to as attendees to network with other people. And then there's TechEd Blockchain Expo in London, first 2 days of December, with 6,000 people expected. So there's a lot of people. 234,000 attendance expected that we hope to get in touch with and fill our CRM system with. And that work, for example, the preparation of a CRM system is a lot of the work we're doing right now to be sure to be able to handle that volume of people that might express interest in learning more about EOS and the Antelope framework. So yeah, I think very interesting approach. Really get a handle on the maturity level, I would say, from blockchain right now and Web3. So, well,
I wasn't sure when to throw in the sound effects here, but wow, that was a great little speech you did there. Great description. Very exciting. 11 events, I guess, in 3 months, if I
yeah,
understood it correctly. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. We had some comments in the chat here. Mel from EOS London says, very impressive fire emoji. Definitely agree with that. He also asks if any of these are going to be televised or recorded.
yeah. So we will do some recordings at the booth. Not everybody will be appreciating of being recorded, for example, but Telos did a great job at one of the events. What was it in the US? They basically did like a daily summary and posted it online. We intend to do a similar thing. So we have an event at the end of the day. We just record some impressions on how many people passed by, what was the most impressive, anonymously probably impressive company or contact that came by, interesting use case that dropped by, that sort of thing. So a daily summary can be expected.
Okay, great. And Trimbot asks, what message are you trying to communicate at these events? You talked about the event Bible. Is that
Yeah.
something that's going to be shared, or is that more just internal material for you guys?
Yeah, it's aimed at we'll have some people, but basically the whole staffing will be OGs of the EOS ecosystem. Sudeep here is in the call. I mean, Crypto Lions was one of the block producers founding the EOS network, running Jungle Network. So basically everybody that's here in the Zyzen team is an OG. Barcelona, EOS Barcelona was there from the start, has a gaming background. Sudeep has a telco background. EOS Dublin has a CRM and a SAP background. Myself, I started 4 companies and sold 2, and one of them was a cybersecurity company. So I have a large cybersecurity background. So there's a lot of knowledge prior to the EOS ecosystem and from the last 4 years. So all of them will be there. But we also have new members in the group. The whole team is 12 people full-time and 6 part-time. And no, 14 full-time now with the 2 business development people additionally. And for example, they are new. So the event Bible is also used just to write down all possible questions that we can get. And they're basically are targeted at what we call personas. So what we tell a software developer, an open source software developer. What do we tell to the blockchain or innovation lab owner of a big enterprise? What's the story that we tell? If an investor drops by, what do we tell them? So that's the messaging. What do we tell to somebody that lost a lot of money in EOS? Yeah, he purchased at the ICO and sold with a big loss. I mean, what do we tell them? So that messaging is put to paper, and there's currently not a plan to release it to everybody, but I think in the after the first few trade shows that we do, when we have some feedback and it's really a professional high-end document, it's likely that we will share it and make it public.
Very cool, very cool. I'm very curious to see the differences in messaging for these different personas, like you mentioned, which I guess we will get a glimpse into with these daily updates, right? If some of these people agree to be recorded, we'll get to hear kind of what your team is saying out there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
And it's also a lot of learning. ENF is building their team, building their messaging. What do we exactly tell about IBC and fast finality? What's really the benefits for that? What do we tell about the community? What do we tell about the technology? What do we tell about the investment opportunities that are out there in our ecosystem? All these messaging, all these storylines, all the benefits. We have some homework to do to get it sharpened and on paper, I would say perfectly. And then we just have to do, we have to be on the floor and talk with people and understand where they are and what their questions are. That's the proof of the pudding is in the eating, I would say, with this.
All right, that's great. Patrick from Nova Crypto also shared a video where he interviewed you recently. This was released a week or two ago, and so people can go in there, I guess, and learn even more about you and the upcoming plans. I think it's a 45-minute interview, it's fairly long.
Yeah, it's a good interview. So it's basically the same story, but if you want to see my face, then it's there.
Right on, right on. We've got Sudeep saying hi in the chat. What's up? Mel appreciates the answer. It's great to hear. I agree. I'm pretty excited to see what comes out of all of this. A lot of comments in the chat here. Let me see. All right, cool. So if anyone else wants to jump in here, ask Rhett a question, now would be the time. So I'll give you guys a bit of time here to think of questions and come on stage with us.
See somebody mentioning that he will be at Lisbon. I heard that there will be very likely also being organized a side event, meaning EOS Amsterdam, EOS Dublin, and some others were planning to rent a restaurant and throw in a small party.
There you go. Awesome. Little EOS party at Lisbon. Love to hear it. You also mentioned the Web3 Vision conference in Cologne. That's some of our team here from EOS Nation is going to be there as well, like we mentioned in the past, and that's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's coming up in 2 weeks, actually. Yeah, in not next Fireside, but the one after is actually when this event is going on. And maybe we'll get Jana to jump in here and share some updates live from the event, as I know she'll be there with Martin and Denis from EOS Nation, as well as a few other members of the EOS community that have confirmed with our group anyways that they'll be there. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more. Should be a pretty big event.
Yeah, and ENF will send over, I see Anis James responding that he will likely be in Lisbon. We have a big list of a big Excel spreadsheet with who is who and when, and there will definitely be some people from ENF at some of these events as well. So in Dubai, Zach will be there, for example.
It's going to be great for the EOS community to meet up in person once again after all these years.
Definitely.
Definitely exciting time to be in the EOS community. EOS doing pretty well today as well in the markets. I think the excitement is starting to leak out to the wider crypto space. I know it's pretty bloody on my crypto app, except for EOS, which we got a nice big red 14% in Satoshi today or something, which is great to see. And yeah, so very excited to see how all this plays out over the next couple months. All right. Anyone
And it's
else want to
even
jump on here? Feel very free or share which event you'll be at. We'll love to hear that. Veronica actually also mentions that she's gonna be representing EOS at the a Caracas blockchain event in Venezuela. So that's great to hear, Veronica. Thanks for being such an active and dedicated member of the EOS community and representing us out there. Hopefully we can see some footage from you out there at the community. Would love to see some videos of that conference as well.
I'm a little
Yeah.
jealous. I won't be attending any of those events coming up, but I did attend Futurist Conference. This is Daniel, by the way, and Futurist Conference in Toronto. I don't know, a month ago or so. There was no official EOS community presence, but even unofficially attending there for the first time, going to a conference in years after Corona, and getting a chance to hang out with a bunch of the EOS community who'd showed up was amazing. So I can only imagine how much more exciting, more how bigger the presence will be at these officially supported EOS attended conferences.
Yeah, sorry, Patrick. I was a little slow on the sound effects there. But yeah, thanks for sharing that, Daniel. Who else had tried to jump on the mic here at the same time? I think I heard two
Oh,
other
that was
people.
me, Martin. Timing.
There you
Good
go,
timing as
Martin.
always.
Martin,
Hey, everyone.
welcome.
So yeah, as you just mentioned, I will be joining the Web3 Vision in W3 Vision in Cologne, which is like almost my hometown. So it's super nice to welcome all the people from Zeisan to Cologne and meet you all in person. Excited to do that. I think last time we met was somewhere in Asia, in Shanghai, I think. That's ages ago.
it's
And
good to see everybody again.
yeah, absolutely. And then
Mine was San Francisco, I think, the last time I saw anybody. The
yeah,
hackathon.
San Francisco
No.
was the only time I saw anybody. Well, actually, that's not true. I did a bunch of EOS meetups. That's not true. But for big conferences, that was my only conference. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to go to the next EOS community conference, which is not planned yet, but I know is coming eventually. I've already told my girlfriend that I will be traveling to wherever in the world this conference is happening. Got my air miles already saved up.
You don't want to see my schedule for the next few weeks. It's really. I live in Portugal and then I'm all over the place this next 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, that's going to be an intense grind for you. A lot of traveling, a lot of talking, a lot of networking, a lot of promoting EOS, and yeah, thank you very much for being so committed and dedicating all this travel time to help promote our great networking community. Another round of applause for Rhett and the whole Zysan team, of course.
yeah, I'm excited that you guys planning maybe a little satellite event in Lisbon. I've been like thinking and mulling over if I want to go down there. I have a couple of friends living in Lisbon. And now that I know that I don't necessarily need to get a ticket to get inside the Web3 into the Web Summit there, which is kind of expensive, the tickets, and as you said, it's super huge. Like hearing that you guys do like a satellite event, something small where I can meet you all is super awesome. So I might consider meeting you guys there as well. I
Yeah,
guess
it's not.
the whole city is full with blockchain people around the time. I think East Lisbon is just a week before. Then there's a Solana event, I see, and a couple of other events, all between the end of October and mid-November. So it's 3 weeks in Lisbon, where plenty of people will be there.
Yeah, it's pretty chaotic that time of year. Very busy.
But it's also the raining season, right? I heard. You live in
Yeah,
Portugal.
I live in the south, in the Algarve. No, the raining season is more January, February. But though sometimes it rains a little bit in earlier, but usually it's a little later.
All right, good to know. Then I bring my bathing suit.
We will be there with a big team. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of us and 2 of ENF. No, 8 of us and 2 of ENF. So a big team will be there.
Hey, Rhett. How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah, I was wondering what would you do for the Middle East market?
So Dubai is on the schedule for the future blockchain summit. And we don't
Hopefully I'll
have.
meet you there. Yeah, hopefully I'll meet you there.
Would be nice. And for next year, we have like a huge spreadsheet that we're managing, and we haven't selected which events to attend. We want to learn from the first experiences here, and we will likely do a mixture of some Ethereum events. We're also thinking about like branch specific events. Like if the car industry has a big event and they have a Web3 corner, that would suit our strategy well. So yeah, we try to get some learnings first before we plan the 2023 schedule.
I see some comments in the chat here from Mr. Blatt and Mr. Chaotic, asking like, what's the best way as people that are part of the community? What's the best way to participate in these events alongside with you? Is there a point of contact they should reach out to make sure they're invited to the dinners or to the side events, etc.?
Well, we're only planning like one side event. This whole thing was agreed upon like not even 6 weeks ago. So we're like really stressing with the whole team just to get it ready and get the booth and the materials and the goodies, and it's really a lot of work. So big shout out to the whole Zyzen team that makes this possible. So it's a good question. How do you guys can contribute? Well, tell everybody that ENF and EOS is represented at these events. We will probably create a screenshot of where we will be, what the booth number it is, or one of a picture of the layout of the event, so where you can find us. And then absolutely drop by. I mean, come see us and come talk to us what project you're working on and how we can help out.
Excellent. All right, well, this was a great update, Rhett. Thanks a lot for taking the time to join us on the Fireside. I said hopefully you join us more often, but now that I have a glimpse into your upcoming schedule and the important work you'll be doing, I think it's okay if you don't join us often out here, and maybe you join us after the mega sprint and you share some of the lessons learned and some of your experiences over the coming months. That'd be great.
Yeah. Next week, for example, after the Gartner event, I will be in the airplane back home, but I'll definitely make some more room to attend this event. This fire chat.
Okay, great. Another round of applause for the Zysan team and ENF
Sure,
for organizing this, and getting a presence, a high quality presence for EOS at all of these conferences, which is something that we've not had for many years. So very, very
Absolutely.
exciting.
Whew. Yeah, baby.
All right. Okay, cool. So I think we're gonna move on to another topic for the day. So thanks again, Rhett, for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. I'm signing off now because I have to do some other stuff. But good luck.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Have a good day, Rhett. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I see Waxa has joined us in the chat. Can you share some updates for the EVM and Ideathon and Hackathon with us at this point?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. So Chris can't make it, unfortunately. He's stuck traveling. But I do have the 5 categories for the Ideathon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the title of the category, and then I'll read a description as well. The descriptions are quite complicated, or not easy to take in on first hearing, so I'll post them in the chat after I finish. So the first category is going to be DeFi. So that's decentralized financial instruments or tools that do not rely on a trusted third party or intermediates. And they also leverage contracts on a public blockchain. Okay, and the next section is Gov3. So that's going to be decentralized governance services or tools that empower individuals or communities to meaningfully interact and collaborate when establishing consensus on rules and mechanisms by which people distribute power and control. Okay, and for number 3, it's GameFi. So that is play to earn blockchain games that provide mechanics to yield economic incentive for players to play or interact with the game. Thank you. And for number 4, it's a social good. So that is decentralized applications, services, or tools that leverage a public blockchain while improving the quality of life for the most people in the biggest way. And finally, more of a catch-all, this is Web3. That is decentralized applications, services, or tools that explicitly disintermediate an interaction and value exchange to therefore increase the maximum potential value remitted to or saved by an end user or customer. And that's a lot. So thank you very much. That's the latest update from the hackathon. I know that dev post has been pretty much occupied now. It's gone through a review process over the weekend. So that's great to see. And to stay up to date with all the Ideathon updates, you can follow the ENF on Twitter, which I'm pretty sure everyone is. And we're also doing blogs as well. So that's the Helios blog page and the ENF blog. Thank you very much. I'll post that in chat for anyone who'd like to read it.
All right, excellent, Waxa. Thanks a lot for that update. And yeah, definitely post those descriptions in the chat. It does sound like if you're a crypto builder or someone that has ideas for the crypto space, your idea is definitely going to fall into one of these categories. So again, that's DeFi, Gov3, GameFi, Social Good, and Web3. So very nice, very nice. Another exciting event for the EOS community. And when is that starting again?
The applications open up, so the submission period starts on September 19th, and that runs until October 31st. And then the judging period is November 3rd to November 9th. And then the winners are announced on November 14th. So not too long away.
All right, yeah, so it starts in about a week and a half on Monday, September 19th. Okay, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Waxa, for joining. And shout out to the Helios team for organizing such a great event. I think, yeah, this is very, very exciting. Very, very innovative structure also for a hackathon. I've not really heard of events like this. I don't know if you guys base this model off other such events, but yeah, very, very interesting. And I look forward to seeing some great ideas come out of it.
Thank you. Just as a final note there, we asked the lady at DevPost who organizes all the events that they host, and they haven't heard of this being done before. So EOS being the first, which is great.
There you go. Back in the innovative front seat for EOS. Love to hear it. Absolutely. Um, okay. Yeah. Did you guys notice that we've actually broken out of our attendance resistance? We've been kind of, we've been hitting that 55, 60 member resistance on Fireside Chat, and seems like today we just broke through. We're sitting at about 80 people in the Fireside Chat, which is a new all-time high. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Love to see the new faces in here. Definitely, invite you guys to come say hi if you're new here. Just jump on the mic, say hi to the community. We'd love to hear from you guys. When 100 attendees? Yeah, I mean, soon. I think very soon. Definitely, I would put the line at two more events. So I think by the 28th of September, I think we're gonna break 100 attendees for the Fireside Chat. And of course, these are people that are in the Discord channel. We're not even counting the YouTube views, the Twitter views, the Facebook views, the post views that people watch the show afterwards. So we're definitely getting a lot of traction for these Fireside Chats. Seem like you guys enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it. So I'm not surprised. To see these numbers growing. All right, let's see what else do we have here on the agenda. We had EOS Support released their August monthly report. I heard that Bishop is in here, potentially under an alt account. Oh no, there he is. Bishop has officially joined the chat. Welcome, Bishop, to the Fireside.
Hi everyone. Hi Stephane.
Hey. So what has EOS Support been up to in August?
Yes, a lot actually. Well, first, my name is Charles Arroyo Bishop. I'm the head of communication for the non-profit organization EOS Support. So now I know we had the semi-annual report just a while back, but as always, I will still produce monthly reports as well. So what can I say? We love reporting. No, more seriously, we strive to be an example of an accountable and transparent public good on the EOS network, especially since we want the same coming from the community's projects through our new EOS Respect, elections and process. So yeah, for this month we have our new annual monthly report in, you can check out. So for this month, following the discussions mainly about blocks.io shutting down for EOS, we researched and prepared workarounds, so specifically on how to create MSIGs, and we also produced a guide on the matter as well, as always in up to 9 languages for everyone to enjoy. So next, we had Greymas that had a problem with the SDK, and we helped them detect that early on. We also provided them with our own test accounts to replay the problem. So that went fine. So great collaboration with Grimace on that matter. On live support end, so most of the questions that we received on our website for this month were of course regarding the consensus upgrade. We helped a lot in that regard. But as always, much EOS account and wallets problems, how to register ERC20 EOS, problems with the DApps, etc. But yeah, mostly staking rewards as well. But most of the month was allocated to helping people discover the consensus upgrade. We had much questions about that. So this all this was done through what we call EOS Support Live. So this is the community-funded public good that provides multilingual support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and up on the website, and all the articles that we produce as well as the how-tos. But we also provide other services for the EOS network that are covered in that report. So these services are part of EOS Support Plus. It can be software training and testing, scam prevention. We have the EOS Support Squads and Ambassador program as well in there. We have social media outreach, but most importantly this month we have been supporting, of course, the Antelope release through EOS Support Plus. So for that we collected data. We surveyed EOS developers in 9 different languages as well, again, to make sure that those that are operating nodes are ready on September 21st. And we also offered help if that wasn't the case, of course. So at the same time, we produced article also summarizing the most frequent questions about the consensus upgrade. And we have them live on our website now. The frequently asked questions, but also everything that want us to know about the tools needed to develop our Antelope and do the upgrade on September 21st before. And yeah, so finally, of course, on August 20th, we informed via email over 250 EOS projects that the Antelope Leap 3.1 upgrade was happening. And that, of course, in 10 languages at that time. So more than 250 developers and projects on EOS that were informed thanks to us. That was a great effort for this month on our part. And also, we continued, of course, surveying developers during the month regarding the Dune tool. So how to improve it further, of course. What else? Well, we have the EOS support giveaway show, of course. So it's still going strong and expanding its audience. We're still offering a summary of the EOS Fireside chat, so every Thursday 4 p.m. UTC on YouTube and Twitter Spaces. We have news discussion about with the EOS community, questions and answers for everyone. And now pop token distributions. Many thanks to the ENF and everyone involved for that. And the trivia, of course, making it a fun time for everyone, specifically all the new users coming into our beautiful community. So yeah, also we had, of course, the first EOS Respect elections on August 8th. So this is our ambassador program and a new tool to fund our public goods. So the goal is to make sure that the project on EOS public goods are accountable to the community with the elected delegates through EOS Respect, reporting on their projects and providing them also with all the help that EOS support has to offer in these same projects. So these elections are monthly, and the next one is just in a few days on September 13th. So we're still looking for the best of the best in the community to join our ambassador program. So if you're a skilled member of the community with a project you want to promote and defend, you're highly welcomed to reach out to us through our website, eosupport.io, or at contact@eosupport.io as well. So that's your resume application, and we'll make sure to introduce you until the next elections. So that was mostly it for this month. So if you want more specifics, there's a lot of metrics and analysis on all this month work that we have been doing, but also more to discover, like Twitter language-specific accounts on Twitter. We have 9 of them to relay important information to all languages about EOS, and we are also making sure to promote them as well and grow their audience as well. And more to discover in the report. I'll let you all check it out. Thanks again for the opportunity to make a quick summary for everyone of what we've been up to.
All right, that's great, Bishop. Thanks for joining. I shared the link to the report in the stream chat. I'm gonna share it again actually because there's so much activity in the stream chat today. The links go by quickly. But yeah, that's great. Great work, Bishop, and great work to all of the EOS support team. You mentioned that you guys have been helping with the upcoming upgrade to Leap 3.1, and so I think this is a good time to transition into that topic. We've got a few guests actually that are going to talk more about how this is going to happen, what's going to happen, and make sure the community is ready and understands what's going on. So actually, you guys posted a frequently asked questions document about the Leap 3.1 consensus upgrade. I'm not sure when this was posted, but I know it was edited fairly recently, so I'm going to share that article in the link. So this is fairly high level stuff. This article really aimed at understanding what all of these words mean. What is antelope? What is Mandel? What is Leap? All of this stuff. So if someone's new to the ecosystem and is kind of asking questions about these new brand names, etc., you can point them to this article, which gives a nice overview, not developer oriented, really for anyone who needs more information. So that's great to see. On top of that, we also had Nat P produce a more developer-oriented article that talks about some of the technical features that are coming So, Nat, are you available to maybe expand a bit on this article of yours, or maybe explain what's contained in this article?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on. It's not so much directly relating to Leap and it coming out. So the article, I'll go ahead and share it now, and I'll share it probably again just to get time. The article is basically on this API called Firehose. And to sort of step back for a second and kind of go through where this came from. So for those who do know, there was a team on the EOSIO. They were called the Diffuse team. They produced an amazing API service that had a lot of different features. And so basically, this is one of the APIs available. I, along with Matthew Darwin and a couple other people, made an attempt to set up the full API service that they had. I failed miserably at that. Other people did eventually succeed at that. It's a very difficult stack to run from a developer's perspective for the full API service. But this is sort of a lighter version. So with EOSIO, you have, or previously, I'm getting everything confused. So with Annaly, you previously had or you still have the state history plugin. What that is a stream of events of everything that happens on the blockchain without any filtration options. And so what this API allows you to do is, instead of running a full diffuse API node, what you can do is you can set up a Firehose node, which requires basically 4 services. The Leap software comes with an option where you can print these console prints, which can be interpreted as API. And so what you can do with this API versus the state history plugin is you can get very specific information based on what you want for your contracts or the people that are using your application or anything like that. So you can just get a lot more granular. So I looked at this and was very interested in this. I didn't introduce myself. I work with the Liquid Apps team, the DApp network. And so we have Zeus, which is a software developer kit that allows people to write smart contracts, as well as the DSP software. And I looked at this because we use currently the state history plugin for our DSPs, and it can get very noisy when you have so many things going on, like IDOs. In the case of Waxa, when you have all of the Eurotrust. So I wanted to find something that was a little bit better that you could get much more granular with. And so I decided to use it for that. Just to touch on that a little bit, I did just put out a release on Zeus. We added Docker support, so operating systems were supported. But we also added legacy support for the previous contract developer toolkit, as well as the new one. We did a lot of documentation upgrades, and we also supported the new send transaction RPC API, which the support with EOS.js, and I also put an article out about that as well. And so that brings us to this Firehose thing in my article. And so what does the article cover? The article basically goes into an overview of what this thing is, what it takes to run, and how exactly you go about doing it. There's not very good documentation on actually running specifically this kind of node. And so we wanted to put something out there that would really help people with that as I went down that journey. Thank you, Matthew, if you're listening to this. You helped me out a lot, as well as the Streaming Fast team. I got some help from them as well. And so this, goes over the entire thing of how you actually set it up. I also put out a repository that includes some very good stuff. So I built this thing from source. So currently the repo that Diffuse has does not support the Leap software, so you have to use a special fork of the software, which doesn't have a release. So I went this morning and actually produced a release. I also put up a Docker to use that. In addition to the images, so someone doesn't want to build a Docker to an image, they can use the image that I already put up there. So included in this article, things like health checks, as well as something that you can use to test the specific service. Just a little bit about what you actually have to run to enable this. So you do need, obviously, your Node.js instance. You do not need the state history plugin. So you have to enable the deep console prints. Then you pipe that into the new reader standard in service, which takes those prints. It basically produces these 1 block files. There's another service called the merger, which produces 100 block files, which the Diffuse system uses. And so there's a relayer, which relays different things to the different APIs. There's the Firehose, which, of note, you can run as a secure, so you can require an SSL certificate, or you can run it without that. So that's basically what I put out there in a nutshell. So not necessarily directly related. This was something that was also previously available, I think, up until like 2.05, the now Antelope software. But yeah, that's kind of an overview. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Not, then too. And I appreciate everything, and Rhett and all the previous speakers, EOS support, awesome stuff you guys are doing, and yeah, really cool.
Oh, forgot to unmute myself. Thanks, Nat, for that clarification on the article. You were cutting out at times to times, but you came in for most of that. And yeah, so if you want to learn more about this stuff, you can go read the article that was shared just earlier here in the voice chat. Daniel Keys out there loving some Firehose. Daniel, did you want to come on here and talk maybe a bit about Firehose and maybe a bit about the the upgrade that you've been leading the coordination for?
Hey, happy to. Thanks for having me on. So yeah, Firehose, something that EOS Nation team is very familiar with. Matthew in particular. So thanks for that shout out, Nat, to Matthew. I know he's it's kind of his adopted baby that we took over after the Streaming Fast team moved on to focus on the Graph network. And Firehose is, you can kind of think of it as what's feeding the data to the bigger monster of diffuse that we're running. A little smaller, easier, lighter weight, and actually scalable. So we're looking forward to down the road keeping Firehose and replacing diffuse with something more in line with what they've got running on the Graph network for the EOS community. So something to look forward to down the road. And in the meantime, like I said in the comments there, it's great to see more and more operators making use of Firehose. Until recently, EOS Nation was, as far as I know, the only team running Firehose and diffuse for the EOS network. So the more teams we got running it, the more decentralized, the less single point of failures we have. It's really great for the health of the ecosystem. So thank you, Nat, for putting that article together, because I think that's going to help enable even more people to join and start running this stuff. And yeah, so I can segue from that back to the Leap upgrade. Today we had our 31st weekly meeting. So we've been preparing for this consensus upgrade for a while now. We started in February. At the beginning of February is when we had our first kickoff call to start planning for this upgrade. Maybe I'll go a little higher level for those newer to the community who might not know exactly what I mean by a consensus upgrade. This is the second time the EOS network is having a consensus upgrade. The first time was for the 1.8 upgrade back in September 23rd of 2019. So it's been a few years now since we've had a consensus upgrade. And basically what a consensus upgrade is we're activating new features, brand new features for the EOS network that are not backwards compatible with the old features. So as soon as these features get activated, if you haven't upgraded your node that's running on EOS, so if you're a dApp developer or a block producer or an exchange, a lot of the times you actually need to be running your own node to facilitate the product that you're offering. You need to make sure that before we activate this consensus upgrade, you've updated your nodes so that it's compatible with the new features. And then it's up to the block producers. So the way that EOS works is we have the top 21 elected block producers. You get 15 out of 21 of them to agree to make any changes to the network. In this case, agree to activate these new consensus features. Once that's activated, again, that technically, a lot of people will refer to this as a hard fork. I prefer referring to it as a consensus upgrade, just because a hard fork typically has the connotation of contentious upgrade. In the case of, you hear the term hard fork a lot in things like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin forked into Bitcoin Cash. and you ended up with two different networks. In the case of this consensus upgrade, we're leveraging the Antelope features, the flexibility of EOS to coordinate among the block producers and come to consensus on this is the path forward for the network. We're all agreeing. 15 out of 21 of us have signed this proposal. And rather than forking into two different networks, we maintain one chain, all on the new consensus version. And anyone who hasn't done that upgrade, basically just their stuff stops syncing with the network. So again, it's very important that if you do want to make sure your software is still running as expected, if you're an exchange, if you're a dApp developer, if you're a BP, make sure that you get your nodes updated before September 21st. And that's a big part of what these weekly meetings have been all about, is getting the community prepared, making sure everyone is aware that this is coming. We heard from Bishop earlier, talking about all the work that EOS support has been doing to help us in that effort. It's been awesome having them to help in this outreach. For the 1.8 upgrade back in 2019, EOS support didn't exist. The ENF didn't exist. It was a little bit more hectic, disorganized. We didn't kind of have some of these core pillars within the ecosystem that we could help promote some of this messaging. So the EOS support, not only are they great for helping spread the word, but also they're a single point of contact when people have questions. People don't have to wonder, where do I go find out, where do I get help with upgrading my nodes in time for September 21st? We're pointing everyone to EOS support, and and EOS support kind of is coordinating in the background, getting people in touch with the right contact to answer the questions if they're not able to answer it themselves. And I see, thank you, Steph, you shared the Leap 3.1 upgrade guide. Shout out to Andrew Ware, who did a great job putting that together. Earlier, Steph, you also mentioned an article about features, the Leap features. Andrew also put together an article on that, which I thought I had. Oh, here we go. I'll share that also in the chat. And another link I can drop is the latest. There are the features are super in depth, so it goes into great detail on all the new features, what they do, why you should care. Great overview. And then for those interested in following along on our upgrade status, I'll share. Here's a link to today's meeting summary, which from there you can find links to all of the other meeting summaries. Like I said, we've got it every single week from February 9th until today. Today was the 31st time meeting. And the latest status is we're on track. We're still targeting September 21st. Starting next week, we're going to start doing daily meetings, having daily go-no-go calls, make sure that we're all ready. And we'll start passing around that multi-sig proposal to block producers starting on Monday. So the team is working right now testing some new techniques to make sure that the multi-sig doesn't get executed earlier than expected. The way that EOS works is once you have the 15 signatures on a multi-signature, anybody in the network can execute it. So to prevent that from happening before the time we've designated, we're testing some new functionality that will actually be able to allow us to choose the date that it can not get activated before that. And then after that time, anyone will be able to execute it. And like I said, we'll have daily calls. And then on September 21st, we'll live stream that call. It'll happen an hour earlier than usual. It'll be 1200 UTC with a plan of activating those features on that 1300 UTC on September 21st. So that's pretty much the update. Happy to answer any questions if anyone has them.
Great update. Thanks for sharing. I also shared, if we're sharing all the update links, figured I'd share the playlist. If you want to watch these calls, not only do you have the notes available here the GitHub, shared with the GitHub link, but you can also watch it on YouTube on the EOS Network Foundation YouTube channel. So actually, little quick little news here. The YouTube channel formerly known as Everything EOS has been renamed to EOS Network Foundation. So just so you guys know, that's been officially renamed. They're gonna be doing the same for the podcast. So that's where you'll find these videos. All right, so if anyone has any questions or comments, yeah, join us on the stage here.
I guess I shouted out EOS support. I also want to give credit to everyone else. So you mentioned 31st week in a row we've been meeting, and we have a pretty engaged group of folks joining every single week. You know, an average of I think 18 to 25 people joining every week. Everyone, you know, from block producers to dApp developers, just to engaged community members, to members of the ENF. We've got the tech team joining those calls. We got Yves and Zach and yeah, a bunch of people joining. So you know, shout out to the community for, you know, all the hard work we've been doing leading up to this big milestone.
All right. Okay, our final topic of the day here on the agenda would be talking about musical NFTs by Palmar with his recent release in his Sound Element collection, the NFT collection on EOS. So I will invite Palmar to join the stage, and actually he's also going to bring a translator with him. Since his English is not maybe not the best just yet. I know he's been studying English. I'm sure it'll be up to par soon enough. But for now, we'll do a quick exception. Usually this is an English only show, but you know, Palmar and his Sound Element NFT collection has been, you know, a fairly long-standing collection on EOS, so we wanted to give him a shout out. Palmar, welcome to the Fireside.
Hey everyone. Okay, my English is not very good, okay? But my teacher English is here. So welcome, Federico.
Yeah, welcome, Federico.
Federico.
Maybe you're having some mic issues, as many people have when they first join Discord. Just right-click that microphone and check the settings and make sure the input device is correct. And you should be good to go. In the meantime, maybe you want to give us a quick description while we wait for Federico to figure out his mic issue. Your English is decent enough. I think you can give it a shot.
You didn't even need to actually put the crickets. We can hear the crickets in your background. The actual real crickets.
I was actually wondering if those were coming through the mic or not.
No, we can actually hear them without the extra sound effect.
There you go.
Excellent.
Just hold out the mic. Yeah, you're not. That's not your soundboard, is it?
No, that's not my soundboard. That's just my backyard, and the window's not even open. That's what I hear. That's what I hear all day, every day in August. The hotter it gets, the more the crickets go crazy. All right. So I guess Palmar, it's not working out for Federico here to join us on the mic. Maybe you want to give it a shot? Give a quick update? I'll share the Twitter link you posted recently here from yesterday. Put some music, drown out the crickets.
That's the Colombo music, by the way.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yeah, I love Colombo, by the way.
Hi, Federico. I see you've figured out the text chat. Next level, figure out the voice chat. While we wait, if anyone from the community wants to join us on stage, say hello, share an update, do some shout outs, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, I want to shout out EOS Nation. I want to shout out ENF. I want to shout out everyone that make this show every week going up. Nice attendance. And I make a guess that after October 23rd, I don't know why, but we will have a good publicum going on. Yeah, baby.
Sorry, why October 23rd? What's the date of October 23rd? I'm now interested. Why
October 23rd, it's the 16th workshop in a row, EOSIO Swiss workshop. I have a nice panel. I can already say some names. I will have Tadas Veitikunas, the creator, architect of Albedo, the blockchain overlay protocol. That will be an interview co-hosted with Dancing Joy. We will have an Hidden Fractal update number 2 with Dancing Joy and Felix Ruiz, going very well after 4 months, going in a startup way, but not as other startup, very decentralized and centralized in a way, also a little bit, a good pendulum. And I will have other guests. I don't want to unveil, but I will reach maybe 10 guests. The last one was 8. So that will be a very intensive workshop interviews. And I think that will be very aligned with what is coming with the consensus upgrade LEAP 3.1 and all what is happening during the September events, October events by Zyzen Global, Boots and ENF. So October 23rd, and then the next Fireside chat will be, I think, a Yeah Baby experience. That's my bet. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's a challenge. We will see. So, go EOS!
Yeah, baby!
I was ready with your sound effect, Patrick. All right, thanks for jumping on the stage here and sharing some updates and doing some shout outs. June has an update on their bitcashBank project. If you want to jump in. Oh, I see your server muted. Maybe it would help if I unserver muted you. There you go, June. Should be good to go.
Hey, thanks so much, Stephane, and glad to be in this very active EOS community and seeing all this activity. For those that don't know me, my name is June Dam, and it started back in the BitShares days, and it's nice to see Arhag here, who used to be very active in the BitShares talk forum. So, but that's where Bitcash actually originated. It was planned to be on the BitShares blockchain, but over time it didn't have the flexibility, and we had to wait for EOS to begin, and just bootstrapping a startup, it took a long time, but we're getting close. It's an EOS wallet on ramp, a peer-to-peer crypto to cash exchange. But one of the issues that we've kind of had to deal with, especially recently, is more of the regulatory landscape. And so it's not the only reason, but I think it's one of the reasons why we transitioned more from being this public project to, at least in the initial beginning, being a private community organization. So that's how we're structuring it right now. So anyway, so that's the update. It's going to be an organization, private organization, with the principles of upholding the freedom to associate, the freedom to trade, also protecting members from, protecting members' crypto as private property. But anyways, it's going to be designed. It's unusual. It's an unusual strategy, but we're designing it more as a private community organization, a private organization. But yeah, I'll reach out to people individually to just give people updates on exactly what it is, and hopefully people will join it. The question I have is more for probably Yves is the best one to answer this. I don't know if I heard him here earlier, but yes, for the regulatory kind of, for the regulations of startups on the network. What are your views on how EOS or EOS is categorized as a network? What kind of any updates you have, especially in light of Tornado Cash and these sanctions that at least the U.S. is placing on not only organizations and people but software as well. I just wanted to know what the EOS Networks Foundation stance is on that, or in any views, perspectives that would kind of clarify and give comfort to any organization building on EOS, whether it's a startup, a nonprofit, whatever it may be. That's the main question I have. It's really been a challenge to figure out at least a strategy, I think, that I'm comfortable with. So.
You will not like this answer because I can't really give one. Can you simplify your question in 10 words or less so that I can address the actual specific question? Because otherwise, commenting on what the US may or may not do specific to your application, I would not be able to provide any type of valuable answer, really. And it would all be speculatory. I think the big challenge that you'll face just looking at the name of your application raises eyebrows. And so, what EOS is classified as, what the ENF may be classified as, and what your particular application may be classified as, I wouldn't be able to provide a something of value. But if you rephrase your question, because in 10, 15 words or less, I may be able to provide a little bit more very speculatory opinion.
Sure. Yeah, it's a loaded question. I understand. So maybe just we can focus more on the EOS network itself first. And how is the EOS network viewed? Let's say the block producers, especially in light of the Tornado Cash sanctions, where it seems to me that if there is some sort of interaction with the sanctioned even software, that there's a possibility that maybe they go after, let's say, block producers, right? And so I'm just wondering what the at least the perspective it is from the EOS Network Foundation is on just what they're doing with the OFAC and Tornado Cash issue, and just maybe block producers specifically, just to narrow the question just to the EOS network.
I think it's pretty clear that there are certain. So I can't really give you. So this is just my opinion, because I can't tell you what they would or would not do, or what the regulatory bodies will or will not take as a stance. I think the regulatory bodies right now don't even know, right? And that's kind of part of the challenge in this nascent field. Is they're definitely taking a step back, and as is quite standard. In terms of government regulations, everything is always there's a lag between what the market, where the market's at, and where the government regulatory bodies are at. What we do see is that it seems as though, and I guess the US kind of leads the pack in this, and not so much that they lead the pack because they're innovating, they lead the pack because everybody's waiting on the sidelines to see what the SEC may or may not do. That's what I mean by leads the pack. We're seeing that the SEC has taken a very direct approach to saying that at least Bitcoin and Ethereum both are not securities, that they, I guess, somewhat to a certain extent acknowledge that these networks are decentralized to a point where there's no potential head and or whatnot. Anyways, that is their position. The third one that they've been looking at now for a while, which will be really interesting, and I invite you to look at that one. That's what I mean. That's where I'm going with this, is Ripple. So government bodies in the US have been looking at Ripple and everything that Ripple has done over the last couple of years since their token sale and such. And that's really the one to watch out for. So when you talk of Tornado Cash, or if we look at Luna, if we look at others that have come and gone that are a little bit more questionable in how they came in and went, I think that those are more unique circumstances. And so if you're comparing yourself to them, then I really can't say much on that because it would really be circumstantial. But I think more where it's going to be industry wide, what to look at is more of the Ripple case and what's going to come out of that, and whether or not the regulatory bodies decide that they're either taking a step back and having somewhat of a moratorium, which is, I think, was being proposed for about 3 years, where it would give a chance for people to innovate within the space, working towards that 3-year mark, where they would either be compliant as a securities provider, and or whether or not they would be able to justify that they're not securities. Again, during this period of time, SEC is still accumulating information. Outside of that, I can't say what you should or should not do. I can say that looking at a potential kind of the black swan events and looking at that one and saying, I may or may not fall in that category, okay, but that's not necessarily, I don't think that that's the best way to go about it, because those, again, are very circumstantial. So unless you plan on being kind of a scam, or you plan on being hacked, then you're really not going to be able to get much valuable information from that, I think, at the onset. Again, looking at your application and just looking at the name of your application, you do invite a little bit more regulatory scrutiny. So I would invite you to go where you're located and look at, do you need any licenses? Do you need any kind of regulatory stamps of approval in order to operate? And then start talking to the people in that field at your level, which would be a little bit more relevant, let's say, than asking the ENF, which is a non-for-profit, and the way that it's set up is set up in a very specific way, which is likely not mirroring what you're working on and what you're involved in. All of this to say, like, I can't really give you a really valuable answer other than look around you, find maybe somebody who's very similar to you, and try to learn from them what they're going through. At the same time, none of this is on paper, in the sense that that there are no regulations, right? The government doesn't know what it wants to do with this yet, depending on which jurisdiction you're in. Obviously, keeping abreast of what's going on in general, like I mentioned, maybe looking at the Ripple case as kind of a guiding light to maybe what's going to happen, I think is useful. Looking at, sure, the unexpected events, the one-offs, just to see what not to do and what could potentially happen if that happens. Sure, that's something to be mindful of. But otherwise, it still very much is very much a nascent field with very little guidelines around it. Or there are some guidelines, but they're still very, the walls are pretty wide in that sense. It depends what you're comfortable with. If you think that the best advice I could give is if you think you're close to the line, you're probably too close to the line. Just get further away. Like if you're not sure whether or not you're crossing over a line that hasn't been defined, you're probably over that line. Or if you're comfortable with that risk, go for it. If you're not comfortable with even being near the line, maybe, make some changes internally into how you're going to be setting up your business and or the product that you're building to be in line more so with the level of risk that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, thanks, Yves. Really appreciate that. And really wasn't too much specific to our particular application. I think it's incredibly challenging, but it wasn't I was more interested in the other layers in terms of the EOS network and how that because we're building on top of it, so there's also any kind of issues that may happen on the public network as well as the dApps that build on top of it. And maybe also, if anything, in terms of guidance, just if there's a future DeFi application, if you have any thoughts on that, I think in general, not so specific to our particular project, but just in general, I think that would be helpful too. But so nothing specific to our particular project. It's just challenging, I understand, and everyone has their unique situation. So there's hundreds of ways to design in an organization, so it's tough for everybody.
And it's really different with you as well, being in the States, in the sense that you fall under a different regulatory body than most people around the world. And so you kind of need to adapt to where you fall and where you live. Some governments around the world, foster innovation, and they're a little bit more friendly towards enabling that innovation, and other areas perhaps are taking more of a risk-adverse approach. So again, figure out where you are in that spectrum, where your governments lie in that spectrum, and then play within and innovate within the guidelines that you deem are acceptable based on your risk profile, on what you're comfortable with. And that applies to EOS as well. I mean, we're talking about a decentralized network here. So is it possible that block producers in the future, or any node operators outside of EOS, just regardless, could be asked to do something by their governments? Yeah, it's entirely possible. What is the likelihood of this happening? I would imagine it's quite likely. What is the impact, though? That's yet to be seen. What are we talking about? Has there been a particular event? Is this just general? Where are the financial markets as a whole? Where's the country as a whole? What's the global landscape looking like at that time? So many variables that you need to, I guess, make that decision for yourself where you're comfortable. Inevitably, if you're in this field, it seems as though your level of risk tolerance is perhaps higher than the norm. You're already in a nascent industry whereby there are no or very few regulations, and so it is a little bit risky or inherently, just because it's unknown risk, and unknown risk means risk. Not to say that it's risky, but the fact that it's unknown risk just is a risk. And so really that's, again, the decision that you have to make for yourself. And that's a decision that everybody needs to make for themselves, regardless of whether or not they're building applications, if they're participating in this network or any other network, just participating in this field. In certain areas of the world, just being associated to blockchain in certain areas of the world is probably too risky. So there's no one size fits all, let's say.
I agree. Thanks, Yves.
All right. Federico, have you been able to fix the mic issue? Not so much. Well, you still have a few minutes to figure it out. If not, maybe we'll get you on next week. Not so much. Yeah, that's fine. We'll give you another week to figure it out, and we'll invite you back next week. So we got like 20 minutes left here on the show. If anyone else wants to join, say hi, what's up, share some updates. Go for it.
Hello, this is Mark Stair. Can you hear me?
Hey, Mark. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I just finished the network state. I don't know if anyone has heard that from Belagi. And it kind of goes along with this discussion we just had of how EOS fits in with the nations. So the network state is a new, it's an idea where you achieve diplomatic sovereignty from other nations, let's say, but it's network driven rather than land driven. So it's a very fascinating idea. So I'm looking at this in relation to various EOS projects or Antelope projects. Seeds is one, and EOS itself is one, and Fractally and things like that. And we meet a lot of the definitions from an EOS standpoint. There's two that I want to see if I could get clarification with Yves being on here also. The first one is a recognized founder. So originally you might think that Dan Larimer and B1 are the founders of EOS, but they're actually not. They just created the technology, and it was up to the block producers to launch a network or even many networks, and they ended up launching one. And through those, listening to Yves on other areas, it seems like Yves was the one that led the efforts to get the EOS launched. Would that be a fair assessment?
No, that would not be a fair assessment. Thank you for attributing that milestone to me, but no, all those calls, I believe, maybe are still available. So everything was recorded, was made public. There was a tremendous cohort. I think at some point we were more than 100 people on the call for every call, every go, no go for a period of time. And I recall why that specific 100 number is EOS Canada was hosting the calls at the time. And they had to increase the Zoom license to be able to allow more participants than what the free Zoom version would allow for. And if I'm not mistaken, 100 was the number. So no, this was not an Yves thing at all. There were hundreds of people doing this.
So
over an extended period of time.
Yeah. So what would who would you say is the recognized founder? Would you say that's Dan or B1 or
the EOS community are the founders? I would say
the founder of what? Of the EOS software, of like what are of the EOS network, of which
network one? with the token, the EOS network and the token specifically. So
in terms of recognized founder, I don't think there is one person that you can point to. It was a cohort of people.
And the other piece is he's got this idea of one commandment, one moral innovation that everyone can rally around. And he gives various examples of that, but it could be something very simple to something more complicated. Like if I think of Seeds has a good one, which is regeneration, basically regen. Do you see any moral innovation or a one commandment that pulls all of us together?
No, I do not. And actually, I'm going to address the other question before, because yes, there is. If there is a founder, I'm going to say it's the ABP. And for those who don't know what the ABP is, it was the appointed block producer. The appointed block producer was a process by which there needed to be one entity, one actual key holder that would launch the network. The ABP is EOS's version of Satoshi. Nobody knows who the ABP is. The process was closed. The network was launched, so there's somebody who pushed a button. There's literally somebody somewhere who pushed a button. That is our Satoshi.
And most likely that was somebody within B1?
Most likely it was not somebody within B1.
Who? Oh, interesting. I think that could create a whole story from Bywire. You need to get that as one of the guys, okay, or whatever characters. Interesting. AVP. I've never heard that before.
There were even T-shirts made for a period of time after the network launched that said, "I am the AVP," and many people wore that T-shirt. There you go, Daniel Keys. I am the AVP.
Wow, it reminds me of that the movie with the guys with the mask at the end, whatever. But any idea? Yeah. Any thoughts of the one commandment, or what might be multiple commandments of the EOS network? Like, what is our moral drive to be part of EOS? And fine if you want to answer this some other time or whatever. What's top of your mind?
This is not a cop-out answer. I think there is none, and I think that that's good that there is none. EOS can be it can be what you want it to be. The whole point of the software is it can accommodate what you want to do with it. And so there is not one guiding principle. So there can be different people or different entities working on different visions, and they may have their own thing, but EOS as a whole is really a decentralized entity with no leader, with no head, with no vision that is somewhat cohesive in that sense, because it's a network. It's a decentralized network. So anybody claiming to say this is EOS, I'd be wary of that. So they could say, this is my version of EOS, and here's how I get, here's the people that support that, or here's how I can quantify and or measure, or here's the weight that I bring to the table. But EOS is a decentralized network. EOS is not really a thing in that sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's cool. I think what it enables is everyone in this room and everything to potentially build on top of EOS, because one part of it is an integrated cryptocurrency. It could be EOS, and build their sort of startup society / network state. If it could get to that point on top of EOS, could be a definite possibility. Yeah. And I see
EOS just is at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, players come and go. EOS just remains.
Yeah. Cool.
I think that is the value proposition in itself. It's like EOS is a 100% independent, self-directed community. And it's that independence and self-directedness that sets it apart from every other community.
Yeah, and one of the items there is a capacity for collective action, which you've provided through the Pomelo, and the whole network has provided that. So there's systems in place to help it out. Anyways, I think we're in a good position for this whole thing, both with our Eden and Fractally governance type things as well, and I think it's something to watch out for, or to see if there's any opportunities there to create what he says, startup societies that could become their own network states. And it's way out there idea, but I think it's very interesting reading through this.
Great comments, Mark. Thanks for jumping in here and sharing that. I actually found more topics on my agenda. I didn't realize my topics document today had 2 pages instead of just 1. Yves, while you're around here and talking, do you want to maybe talk a bit about the article about remodeling centralized management with DAOs that was released yesterday? I think it was on NASDAQ. Crickets. link. Is my mic working, or is it Yves that's just not here? What else did we have on the agenda? Yeah, we had some community articles written about DeFi Box and Yield Plus that I figured I would share. I'm gonna share those in the voice chat right now. Box to the Moon with Yield Fuel. I like the title of that. Published yesterday by River. Nice timing for the post as Box is up like 20% today. So well done. EOS is also up even more than when we started the show, up 16%. Bitcoin's been doing well while we've been on this call as well, back up to 19.4K. Yeah, nice day for the EOS community in the markets. And the nice day for crypto in general. I guess all the markets are pumping today, but especially EOS and Box. So definitely great to see. Love that story about the ABP actually. That was interesting. Interesting times in EOS. Love the go or no go call where I was able to be present in the room with a bunch of BPs in San Francisco during the Tulip conference. That was a pretty epic moment. Definitely definitely one of the coolest moments of my life for sure.
So you were there during the calls and everything like that? Maybe you're the AVP?
I wasn't. I don't know who the AVP is or was, and I wasn't there for all the calls. But I was in the actual room in the conference when I think it was the last go or no go call where we actually got the go ahead from everyone, and then all these techies from all these top EOS block producers were all on their laptops doing things I don't understand. But it was very exciting, very cool to be there, as a fly on the wall. I'm not sure, Yana. She's asking if the account genesis block is what we're talking about. I'm not too sure. Not too sure about the question or the answer, to be honest. All right, last chance for you guys to jump on here if you want, and if not, we're gonna wrap it up soon. Martin, unmuting by accident, maybe.
Oh, I just switched devices. No worries.
All right. We're still at 57 people live on Discord. I think that's another record for the end of the show. Thanks for everyone for joining again this week. Always fun hanging out with the EOS community for 2 hours on Wednesday afternoons. Hopefully I can meet a lot of you in the coming weeks and months at one of these EOS conferences. Maybe have a live version of this EOS Fireside chat during the EOS community conference. That would be pretty cool. All right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap it up there. Again, thanks for joining, everyone. We'll be back next week. Same time, same social media channel. And until then, hope you have a good day, morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you. And let's go EOS!
Go EOS!
Go
Go eat in Fractal.
Go EOS.